How is everyone doing? Practice makes perfect. And with pretty much every product, time brings improvements, or at least you hope so. If you were one of the lucky few to pick up these door pulls early on, they're freaking awesome. But if you buy one right now, they are better than ever. Link in description. If you bought one before, they're still great. But like I said, if you bought one of these before, they're still great. Early adopters, in fact, are typically credited properly with helping a product and a company become successful. Irregardless, which is not a word, I've been very happy with my Gen 1, my first iteration of the GT3 RS door pulls. But today we are installing the new and improved GT3 RS door pulls. That's not what they're called. They're just door straps for the Flyin Miata from Super Automotive Accessories. And while installing these, I will also tell you about the upcoming updates, finally, to the turbo. That's right, this thing's finally getting that hot. So in case you missed it, go check out my first video on how to install these. That was a lot of fun to make, and really nothing's changed as far as the installation process. Oh my god. The special candy Jackson puts in here is worth it alone. You know, I didn't think this would affect me that much, but I can't talk while I'm eating this. Oh, I should have eaten at the end. Anyways, installation has not really changed, so that old video is still relevant, but the new plate has improved and even better matches the leather texture, and he now has a 3D printed part that goes into the spot on the door where the hole was left from the original OEM door handle. Phenomenal. Anyways, turbo. It has been a long time coming. Almost 2 years of discussions, R&D. Jackson said this is really nice to listen to. That's nice. Anyways, a large source of the delays was just, it's an uncharted territory of a project. NC, turbo, carb compliant, those have never been used all in one sense. We've seen carb compliant turbos, we've seen NC turbos, but all three of those have never really been used before together, which is why this is so intriguing and special for those, especially in, you know, Colorado, California, additional states that are going that whole carb route, which is a whole other debate for another day with many drinks, I think. But there's been parts development, trial and error, tuning, retuning, fine-tuning. So many factors go into developing something like this. It's insane. They've had thousands of miles on testing on the road, on the track, everything in between. It's genuinely been a really exciting process, and I'm excited to share the story as it unfolds. By the way, there's also a new improved back plate as well. So there's a few various components of this that have been improved. So absolutely worth throwing it all in there if you ask me. The strap looks super taut and tight and excellent. This is fun. These things are fun to me. So I've been teasing this turbo project with Ghosty for a while now, and it is finally at my doorstep, so to speak. Flyin Miata has had it installed on their two main development cars, one being Nancy, you know, the famous blue car that everyone seems to see everywhere on their materials, their promotional materials. It's always in their shop, but also on Mike's super cool NC3 Club, which is also crystal white, pearl, mica, whatever they call this color. I've driven Mike's car with the turbo kit, and I am in love. That was also a video recently. But now Flyin Miata is installing two more kits, effectively for further R&D, as well as how parts all come together. Because, you know, the development cars were kind of gradually figuring out which components go where, what works best for this, optimization, figuring things out, costs, benefit analysis, so many, it's so complex. These R&D cars have been through so much. So now that they've gotten the R&D cars sorted, fully sorted, I mean, they've been on thousands of miles of road trips at this point, and track time and everything else, like I said. Now there's the actual additional R&D cars that are also for the research of the instructions. So Another Flyin Miata employee is having it installed on their car, and that's where Flyin Miata is developing the written instructions on how to install the turbo kit. They're very thorough. They're not just going to send you all the parts and be like, good luck. It's pretty easy, I promise. They're actually going to tell you exactly how to install it and all the things you need to know and consider. And then my car is for the video instructions. We're also hoping to get a baseline dyno before, like stock setup. We're actually going to flash this back to stock and then do a dyno with the turbo itself. So that way we have really rock solid dyno numbers as well. It's all so freaking exciting. But all I have to say, I will not actually be doing a full installation video for this modification like I typically do. Partially because, I mean, I think that's fun, but like instead of seeing me flounder about trying to figure out how to install a turbo and do trial and error and then finally have the final project and product where I can tell you everything, I'm just going to refer you to their series on exactly how to properly, professionally do it, even if you're a relatively moderate mechanic. Part of the impetus of them developing this kit is so you don't have to be a crazy certified super brilliant mechanic. Like, it's not going to be that hard to actually install this thing. So when is all of this happening? Well, it should be in the next few weeks. Now, I've said this a few times, especially to some of my friends, of just, you know, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. But again, a lot of things had to really come together, especially sourcing parts from certain outside components. I mean, they're not making everything in-house, although they are doing some things in-house, which is really cool, but they're working with vendors and companies that make these parts professionally for cars. Like, this is going to be a rock solid, well-built kit. And that's a lot of complexity that has to all come together, and inevitably there's delays, especially with all the parts shortages and everything that's riddled the auto industry for the past few years. Still trickling into today. But we are just a few weeks away from me giving up this car to Flyin Miata to take the reins and do the installation, and that's pretty exciting. And then I'm hoping to pick up my car in mid-September with everything fully sorted, ready to go, and ready to film. So while I'm not doing a full-on installation tutorial, but because they're doing it, I will, and I'm so excited, I will bring you guys a full review and deep dive of what the kit is, how it works, how much I love it. It's like going to be a full-blown review going into as much depth as possible. And of course, we'll be talking to the guys from Flyin Miata, really getting to the nitty-gritty heart and soul of what's been happening. I'd love for it to be pseudo-documentary if possible. Don't leave trash in your car. No one likes that. Okay, now that everything's done, everything's installed, the car is cleaned out, no one likes to get back to a car with trash in it. I can finally do the test pull and see how much of a race car driver I really feel like. Okay, that's satisfying, as always. It was before. The first generation door pulls were still satisfying, but now they are slightly revised, better than ever. So this leads me to my final thoughts. What do you all want to know? Because I have some time before the actual turbo kit is installed, before everything's finalized, and of course before I film that video of the unveiling and my actual thoughts on the turbo itself on my car. Not someone else's car, but my car, the one I know so well. I've done 100,000 miles of driving and developing and modifying it. So I'm excited to see how it fits into my current ethos. Typical questions, you know, pricing and availability. Well, Flyin Miata has directly addressed those. It looks like it should be about $5,000. It'll be more if you need to buy a cat from them, but then it will become pre-assembled, because if you don't buy the cat from them, you have to use your existing cat to keep the car in compliance. That's a whole thing, but that's what makes this kit special and unique. Availability. Like I said, a lot of factors have led to some delays, and unfortunately it's just been out of their control. So it's currently looking like beginning of next year. That is early 2025. We are hoping for that. Maybe we'll see a Christmas miracle if everything really comes to fruition, but realistically, I'm going to assume, not as part of them, just I'm going to assume it'll be done in time for some summer fun next year. Maybe they'll start arriving in the winter, and there's your winter project. Boom, check, awesome. But that has been it. I am heading to LA for the next week, so I won't be doing anything immediately on my car beyond just wanting to get Jackson's new and improved door pulls installed, just so I can come back home to that and be excited. And that's what'll be on the car when the turbo is installed. Tires are also on their way. They're actually arriving, I think, Monday, which is really exciting. Those will be another video also near the time of the turbo kit, and I'm going to be trying the turbo kit on these tires as well as the new ones, which no one currently knows about yet. I'll actually have like the only pre-production set in existence, so that's a fun tease. But that's been it. If you want to get some of these door pulls for yourself and make your Miata feel a bit more GT3 RS, grab them from Automotive Accessories.com. Maybe it's SuperAutoAccessories.com. I'm not sure what the website is, but that's somewhere on the screen. And there's also a discount code. You can use this discount code, which is also on the screen, to get a little bit of a percentage off, which is nice. Everyone loves a good sale. And I really appreciate you guys supporting my friends who also support me. Jackson's doing awesome work, and I hope you guys support him. So that's been it. I'm gonna pull this thing in the garage, get packed up for my trip. Exciting things are ahead. Cheers, y'all. Also, can you believe this? I was promised mountain views when I bought this house. And now they're building. It'd be really cool if they painted the mountains onto the building that they covered up so that it was like less intrusive, but here we are. Construction noise every morning, construction traffic every day. God, son of a bitch.